23, there will be blackouts in California and Texas and other places too. We know now me want to find why because Brochero kwa almost lights in the off. But I saw say more plants ne baby structures are and more let's be a more dam and I be more lights and on being issues so going down I'll tell you specifically why you being blackouts in California and Texas because there will be some terrible earthquakes there. About affected no more and more power to say be almost more wind turbine can see be na at now say you better be about 2-3 weeks no more year now ma more energy want be something of a sort. Okay. 38. I'm seeing series of power shortages and blackouts in the US. 24. I said before. Me repeat it for you to remember. Say, power shortages. Ghana hana gadun so how kebini ho. But me the light musa. But 2024 they're going to face some of these things there. 39. I am seeing some destruction to some power infrastructure by a hurricane. Something that will be very hard to fix. Something like a dam in the US. So the entire power blackout, no. Hurricane can see baby say a infrastructure be as any more light. Say be a wind turbine be a dam, something like that. The fix and maybe take some time. I didn't tell blackouts about US.
Tonight, thousands of people in Durham still do not have power. The outage led to traffic backups, left a lot. Look at that. That's crazy, right? Left a lot of folks out in the cold, too. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. I'm Rod Carter.
According to Duke Energy's outage map, about 7,000 people in East Durham still do not have power, and stoplights here along US 70 also still do not have power. I promise you there is one behind us. You just cannot see it. All night, we spoke to people finding creative ways to stay warm. On a cold night in Durham, darkness is the least of the Alvarenga family's worries. An old-fashioned heater will have to do. This bonfire is also a kitchen.
Some spaghetti so we can eat.
The spokesperson for Duke Energy says this outage is due to an equipment issue for maintenance work happening at a substation. Stoplights out along US 70 meant near standstill traffic during rush hour. Crews redirecting traffic for the city transportation department brought in a generator for two busy intersections. But several people we met were in no rush to leave their cars.
It's very cold. That's what I come to my car to warm it up.
And charge his phone.
I need to get it recharged, because I have no clue what time the power is going to come back.
Jermaine McIver Ferry hopes her grandson can stay entertained sitting in their car.
It's been rough. It's cold, and we have things to do. We had to go out and eat dinner tonight.
Families opting for
power outages right now. Collectively, between United Illuminating and Eversource, we just topped 70,000. Of course, Eversource being the predominant provider, they've got 65,000 plus outages across the state. Joining us now, spokesperson Tricia Modifica. Tricia, good morning. Good to see you. How is everything on Eversource's end? A very busy morning.
Good morning, Tim. Yes, very busy, as you can hear the winds howling outside. But we've been prepared for this. We've been watching several forecasts for the last several days so that we were well prepared in advance of the storm. We have crews pre-positioned around the state. And when it is safe to do so, they're getting out there to make repairs. In other circumstances, they have to wait for those winds to die down before they can get up in the bucket truck safely. So those are circumstances that are all individual at different locations and areas of the state where the winds might be higher than other areas of the state.
And why don't we talk about those wind conditions? And
mentioned the big story tonight, power outages. Here's a live look at the PGE outage map, where about 150,000 customers are without power. Of course, Pacific Power customers are also dealing with this. At last check, about 30,000 Pacific Power customers are in the dark.
That's a great question. But before we go into that, I just want to extend on behalf of PGE our gratitude to our customers who are without power. We understand this is an impactful day. So we're really grateful for their patience and understanding as our crews work through this, as our crews assess the situation and restore power. To your question, this has been a dynamic day. And so as you were talking earlier, there's a lot of trees down, there's a lot of limbs on the ground, there's a lot of damage that's going on. And so that impacts our crew's ability to restore power. So when it comes to the estimated time for restoration, we're really going to have to, it's going to take us a little time to understand once we get on the other side of this weather event.
Yeah, guys, a lot of frustration here. I spoke to a family earlier today that's been out of power since Saturday morning, and they spent the week trying to get by the best they could. It's been a common sight and sound in the Portland area this week. After a transformer blows comes darkness and frustration.
It's now, we're on day 6, no power. Our house is flooded because the sump pump isn't working. And there's no communication or real clear communication on what's really going on.
The Fordyces lost power at their home in Cedar Mill on Saturday morning and have had to improvise to keep their household running.
Flights in and out of Sydney Airport have been grounded due to a widespread power outage. It's not yet known what caused the outage, which occurred around 30 minutes ago. But all outbound flights have been grounded at the moment, meaning passengers aren't able to board aircraft. Inbound flights haven't been affected. We'll, of course, bring you the latest on that as it comes into the newsroom.
Thousands remain without power in Western Australia after the state was battered by severe storms. Wild gusts of 100 kilometres an hour brought down trees and power lines across the Perth Hills and Wheatbelt region. Some areas went from sunshine to torrential rain in just half an hour as the temperature plummeted 15 degrees.
Almost the entirety of the UK is under severe weather warnings as Storm Isha closes in. Parts of the country will be subject to gusts of up to 128 kilometres per hour, which makes for some uncomfortable passengers, I should say, on board those planes. Footage from Heathrow Airport in London shows them all struggling, including a British Airways flight that took off again after failing to touch down.
Oh, she's up, she's down, she's gone.
Good commentary.